Great, great midweek Champions League first leg games.
Yeah.
I'm sure we have.
You're not wearing the Real Madrid jersey anymore, are you?
I think it's better kept inside my shelf for a while. I'll bring it out. I'll bring it out during the Clasico, and I'll bring it out again for other games. But obviously, first love is first love. Not going to support them over Arsenal any day. So it's
That's good to know.
always second team. Always second team.
What a game week, midweek.
Ooh,
What a
dude.
quarterfinal round. My God.
I swear. Okay, let's go game by game and then
Yeah.
we'll talk through them. But obviously, we have to start with the Arsenal Real Madrid game.
No doubt, no doubt. Yeah.
Do you want to go first?
Yeah. So I'm gonna take the other way around, right? So I'm gonna be critical of Real Madrid because
What is new
I
in
know
that?
that you're gonna give enough flowers for Arsenal, so
Yeah,
I'm
okay,
gonna
let's
take the
do
other
that.
side of it. I
Okay,
love that. I love doing that as well, so it's not that big a deal for me.
fair enough.
Remember last part we were talking about how I don't like Carlo in the league.
Hmm?
This is basically the league Carlo. This whole
It,
has been like what is that vibe management more than an actual tactical management at this point.
that's what it felt like yesterday. It didn't seem like there was any coordination between any player there on that pitch. And I
I mean,
just
I'm
think he lost the game in midfield, like just when he rolled out the team news, dude. Like, I just think it was just wrong team selection.
how so they started with a 4-4-2 with Camavinga and Modric trying to track Partey, Odegaard, and
And Rice.
technically Merino as well because Merino spent a lot of time in the midfield and then stepped into the box.
And
That
Rice,
is
obviously.
And Rice, of course, yeah, right. So you cannot do that. You cannot rely on Modric, 40-year-old legs to do this
Exactly.
stuff, man. It's not possible, man. And then you already have Vinny and Mbappe up top, and you have already decided that they're not going to come back and help you out in any way. You put Rodrigo in the
Wing.
right mid, basically. That's not even a wing for him for in that 4-4-2. I've never seen Rodrigo in the wing. I've never
You
seen him
don't
go anywhere.
you don't play Rodrigo in a 4-4-2 to begin with.
Exactly. Yeah. Do something else. Get somebody else on there. So Rodrigo did not belong in that team, and it's not Rodrigo's fault, by the way. This was a wrong formation to begin with to go after
Right.
Arsenal. I thought he wanted that midfield superiority by having four midfielders in there, but it did not work in any way possible because there is no help from coming from Mbappe and Vinny. Oh my
Yeah.
God, words cannot describe how ass Vinny was the whole game. I wouldn't
Ooh.
even say that Mbappe was that bad. Mbappe actually had like a good number of chances to finish, but he just didn't do it. That's Mbappe anyway. This is the league Mbappe I usually see anyway. So I'm not surprised by his performance. But he was there. He was trying to make runs. He was trying to do something. But this is not. This Vinny is probably the worst Vinny I've ever seen in a long time. Oh dear God. And then the attitude around the whole game and it's so wannabe diva and spoiled brat feeling more than an actual team cohesively trying to do something on the pitch. David Alaba had horrible 2 weeks.
He was
And
actually
you bring
very
him
good
back.
yesterday.
No, he was not. He had
He
to
was
rely
actually
on.
one of Madrid's better players. To be
Okay,
very
so
honest.
Saka had so many opportunities in the first half, and despite Bellingham coming to his rescue. No. So David Alaba has never played in left back in a long
Lo-
time. Yeah, he played that in Bayern, early days Bayern,
Yep.
not even like
Yep.
recent times Bayern. So this was a mistake from the get go. It's not like he had any choice anyway. Carlo had there's no other choice for him.
Yeah.
But you lost Valverde, one of the most important midfielder, to the right back position,
Which
and
was
then
a
you
mistake
put
again. You need that engine in midfield. He ruined it by playing him right back.
seriously, man.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean by this vibe management. So there is no tactic. I did not see any specific pattern of play.
No,
What they were
there was
trying to do,
nothing.
they were not even pressing.
No.
Arsenal had a very half and half first half because they were afraid. Like almost Arsenal were giving too much respect for Madrid in the first half, saying that wait, there is an Mbappe behind, so we need to be careful. Vinny's running around, we need to be careful. But I think in the second half, I think they realized that this team is not playing together anyway, so let's just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, there were a few things I saw. So I'll clarify what I said about Alaba having a good game, right? Like honestly, on that pitch, I actually felt Alaba wasn't doing that badly. He was still trying to do as much with Saka, but Saka was just having a great game. It's just not much Alaba or anyone in his position could have done. Like take Alaba out and put anyone on left back that day, dude. It would have been the same story. Right? That was one. The other thing, like you had already mentioned, right? Not playing your engine in midfield to cover the length and breadth of the pitch and rather playing him on right back. which was incredibly stupid because Martinelli was just running rings around him. Like Martinelli was not effective, but he was still doing enough on the pitch to make sure that Valverde was staying pinned back. You couldn't come in front because Martinelli has the pace to beat you, right? So that was one. The other thing that I also saw, like from a Madrid standpoint, then I get into Arsenal, right? The other thing that I also saw was the defender who I thought would be the leader would have been Rudiger.
Rudiger, yeah.
Yeah, but I thought Raul Asensio had a much better game than him.
He gives me that Sergio Ramos vibes a lot more than he used to even now.
Yeah,
So
he was aggressive on the tackles. He knew when to tackle. He actually had a decent game.
even in the first
But-
half, there were so many moments where this is a very good defender. He's doing
exactly.
so clever with how he play out of the ball.
Positioned himself.
Position.
Yeah.
Yes.
He
That's
was
the
having a
silver
good
lining.
game.
Yeah, that's the silver lining
But
for
I
Madrid
think,
that they
I
found
think
another good defender.
honestly, the silver lining was Courtois, dude. Like
Dude.
without him, if he makes 3 or 4 world-class saves and the scoreline is still 3-0,
3-0.
imagine if Lunin was probably the goalkeeper. I think the tie would have been over the year.
No,
Like,
forget
literally-
Lunin. Anybody else, in my opinion, anybody else. There were 2 double saves. Two double
and then
saves.
2 goal line clearances, one by Bellingham and one,
One by Bellingham, one by Alaba.
Yeah.
So this was crazy, and I was thinking that Courtois is having one of those games again, just like he has against the Liverpool's Champions League finals and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And dear God, bro, he just relentless when it comes to these kinds of crazy saves, and he was so on there. But I mean, you have to give it to Rice for that, for both the free kicks. Maybe the first one you could probably blame it on the wall or something like that. But even then, man, it just went way out of the wall and curved too
It was
much.
it was a great 2 goals that he scored. No.
Yeah.
The other thing also, right? Like you were mentioning, their formation itself. Like I don't think the formation per se was wrong. The people in the formation was wrong.
Sure, yeah.
Right? You want Bellingham to play a number 10 role or like the Zidane number 5, number 6 role, right? You don't want him to play on the left side of like technically left winger role trying to cover Alaba. Like that's not his job. Like you're making him do you're making him do an engine work which is literally wasting his talent.
Yeah.
Like there was one point in the game to Madrid's credit, right? We can talk about Mbappe missing what a chance he should have converted. But if you remember in the 3rd or 4th moment, Saka gave away the ball to Vinny and he started moving front and he had Mbappe to pass. This bugger, if he had not been an asshole and if he had passed it, I think the tie would have been very different. Because Mbappe was through, he would have scored the goal.
Yep.
And coming back from 1-0 down, I don't know if he would have done it. But he had to go and try a Trivela pass and then he did Saliba and went to Raya. I think that's where it went wrong for Vinny.
Cow's field in front of him.
Oh,
He could have
exactly.
given any kind of ball. Mbappe was not even being tracked by
He's faster
anybody
than
else.
all of our defenders.
Exactly.
So he could have
Even
just
if-
gone.
Yes. It was a
yeah, I
tap
think
in,
that-
waiting for it to be tapped in, and just he never gave the pass. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That I think he needs to kind of revisit, and I think Carlo Ancelotti has to sit down with him and be like, boss, it's a 11-man team.
Yeah, he's not sitting down anymore. He's getting fired. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. He needs to be sacked.
Ancelotti, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Ancelotti needs to be sacked.
Unless there's a miracle in Bernabeu.
No. I mean, dude. Okay, so if you are actually a Real Madrid president at this point, how many more games are you going to get away with vibes after vibes?
You can't help it, dude. He has this thing to prove that he's done it, right? Like it's not like he's not one stuff. You cannot actually tell me Carlo Ancelotti is worthy of a sack. I mean, I understand this season has not been great, but even with that, you're still technically you're there on all 4 titles. It's not like you've lost anything. So you
Here's
can't
where
actually sack him
I
now.
disagree massively, man.
Okay.
I told the same thing last time as well. This is not just the Vibes FC. It is the Juju FC, the Black Magic FC.
Doesn't matter,
All
dude.
kinds of
He's
stuff.
getting
Anyway,
the
so,
results.
so you're getting results, but as you see the player after player, right? So there are 2 biggest critical things, which I feel like Carlo fails very, very badly. Number one is he does not risk at all. He would not trust a young player.
Yep.
He would not take that one risk. Hey, I have a player here who's either from the academy or from kids like Hendrik who just recently brought Arda Güler sitting there rotting on the bench.
Yep.
Same exact reason why Odegaard left Madrid is this.
Yep.
Like
Yep.
you never get a chance as a young player because no manager is, for whatever reason, they're not taking any risk on you. And this is like Asensio came in because there was no other option.
Yeah. True.
Imagine
No,
your
very
defense, how good it would have been if you just had the balls to drop somebody and put in the kid because he's showing up at the training. There was no reason to not get some minutes for Endrick in this game. Much
actually
early.
you can actually say that, you can actually criticize that about every manager right now. They know they're playing 11 by this stage of the season and they're not going to rotate.
No. So okay. Every manager
Trusting
at
youth
this point.
is different. No. Trusting youth is different.
Every manager at this point, whether you like it or not, Arteta is in this place because he has done the things what he needs to do for that squad, whatever he has, with whatever he has.
Yeah, raise the thin squads, it's a different issue.
Sure.
But
So he brought in, dude, where was MLS a season ago, man?
Yeah.
Where was
fair.
not Nwaneri a season ago? Right. So
16, but okay.
where was he? That's what I'm saying. So he was not there in anybody's radar that much. So Arteta saw whether it was he was desperate or not. He was like, okay, I'm just gonna give this kid a way to go instead of me rearranging the existing set of players like Kamavinga playing in left back, right back, CDM, anywhere. Even centre back, Chouameni playing centre back, CDM, attacking, Valverde playing CDM, wing and right back, anywhere. So this plug and play. It worked purely because insane luck he has been riding around. You cannot say that these are tactical things which he's changing.
Yesterday
There
was
is
not
no
tactics.
impact of Carlo in getting those results. That's my issue.
Fair enough.
There is no way you can say that this was Carlo doing something. The players had that thing and they're just doing it for him or for whoever that is. They made it work. Especially this time around. I don't know whether it's because I cannot put this on Mbappe. Okay, last season they had no striker and everybody realized that okay, this team needs a striker. Joselu, even if he's the bit part player, he comes in, he makes an impact, immediate impact, because Vinny had nobody to cut back to. This time, you got one of the best people you would probably want in and around the box, the guy who can finish. But what are you doing? Where is the coaching to actually make him play the striker role or teach him to go into this thing? You used Bellingham last season. What happened to teaching him that? At least that. Right? I don't see this happening because of that lack of tactical awareness over a league phase and this no bravery around like, okay, I'm just going to go trust a kid or trust somebody new to do something and put them in the place where they can actually get something out of it. If they work out, they work out. If they don't, they don't. That's the situation there.
Fair enough. Anyway, coming to Arsenal. I only have one thing to say, bro. Only have one thing to say.
Be humble.
Bend it like Declan, bro. Bend it like Declan. Oh my god, dude. What? Dude. I don't know, man. I've had a lot of good days in my life, but I don't think anything beat yesterday. It was absolutely mad, dude.
Believe it or not, that was the same feeling I had.
It was so good, man. You were hate watching, man. I've cried for days like this.
Generational hate watch.
Bro, I literally, like, for everyone in the world, the pandemic sucked. For me, watching Arsenal go to some FC Skwarachkalia, some rubbish team in some rubbish country, I have seen such bad days to now seeing the Real Madrid come to Emirates and then we whoop their ass and send them back. Dude, I have cried for days like this.
And it's not just that Rice scored 2 free kicks. No, this could have been
there's no set piece, no corner FC, nothing. It was proper domination.
Yeah, this was absolute domination.
We took a while to get going, but after that, the way we bossed the game, it was just absolute mad, dude. And
you can give credit to Rice for those two. I think everybody does, but I don't think anybody should downplay that Merino
goal, man.
Goal. So good.
I was going to say that.
Yeah.
Actually, there are 3 people I want to call out. No, 4. Sorry, 4 people. First one I'll call out is Jurrien Timber. The bugger comes back from ACL, plays literally every minute in the absence of Ben White. Dude, he puts in an 8 out of 10 performance in every game. How the fuck do you do that after an ACL injury, dude?
Yeah. He's
flawless,
young, so that's good.
Flawless. And defending against Vinicius Jr. You say what you want, he had a bad game, yes. But a lot of it was contributed because of Jurrien Timber. And
Timber
it's not
had
just...
him locked up.
he had him in his pocket all day, dude.
Yeah.
And he could have... Like, Vinicius could have played another 180 minutes of this and nothing would have come out of it.
I mean, the only time when he broke loose was when Timber was way up there in the
when
attack,
Saka
and
gave
there was
away
a
the ball.
transition.
Yeah.
A transition, 1 or 2 transitions where they gave it to Vinny, and even then he just goes and does nothing.
Oh my
anyway.
god, dude! Everything about Jurrien Timber's play yesterday was just out of the world, man.
Yeah,
that was one. The second one is Jakub Kiwior.
Dude, oh my!
The first 25 minutes, Mbappe literally stood in and around where Kiwior was because he knew he could attack him.
No, that was the plan.
To come in, that was the plan, right? Like very clearly that was the plan because he knew he couldn't do shit with Saliba. But to come in when you're not playing regularly, when you're like literally the 4th choice centre back, you're not even 3rd choice, you're 4th choice centre back, to come in and display like that, put in a display like that, oh my god, dude. Polish Maldini. My God, that was so good. And then we spoke about MLS. Fucking 18, dude. He bossed the entirety of Real Madrid's midfield, dude. He
Yeah.
bossed every player that tried to take away the ball from him, put his body in between him and between the defender and the ball, still made killer passes. He had like an insane through ball in the game that should have been converted, but I think it went behind Merino.
That
Dude,
was
oh my God.
that was a good
Maturity.
tactical adjustment from Arteta, actually.
Yeah,
So
bring him into midfield.
Carlo thought that he had the midfield covered because he put in the 4-4-2 formation and shit like that. But then they were not prepared for MLS actually slipping into the midfield and playing around with all these people.
So
And
whenever
then
Rice went front, MLS was covering midfield.
MLS was there. Yes.
Oh,
It's
dude.
brilliant. Yeah.
Like maturity beyond his age, man.
Did you see that apparently Arteta called Pep to actually talk about the tactics?
Really? Oh, I didn't know
Yes,
that.
there's
Okay,
like a
wow.
weird, like I think official City account, not official City, like the one of the more popular City
Oh, okay.
fan accounts or something like that. So Arteta said some shit like, okay, yeah, like I spoke to Pep just to understand like how to play.
Pep hasn't beaten City. What the fuck is he asking him for?
Pep, I mean, no, they have had so many games against each other.
Hashtag dig on City and hashtag dig on Pep. He's never beaten Ancelotti, man. What is he asking him? He's in fact
Wait, who
lost
did he
from...
beat the 2 years ago? Yeah, it
Was
was
that-
Ancelotti. Yeah,
was it?
4-0 at home and shit like that. Yeah, that was a
Yeah,
crazy
okay,
game.
but they still lost. No, they lost. They lost
No,
the
they didn't.
quarterfinal last. No,
The season they won the Champions League, they beat Madrid.
that is fine. That was a
Yeah.
freak season. I'm just saying the season after that, what happened? They were like 90 minutes up. Madrid need 2 goals.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
come back and score. This season also
That's
they
the,
lost.
that's the
playoffs,
year
no?
before that, yeah.
Whatever. But
Yeah.
this year again they lost the additional
Yeah.
playoff game to
This
City.
is every year they play Madrid. So that
Yeah,
apparently that's
so-
what the reason. Like, hey, can you let me
Okay.
know what have
Fine,
you
as
seen?
long as it
until
worked
now?
out. But my biggest praise, forget Saka playing well, forget Declan Rice having an insane game, forget MLS. Fucking Partey, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Completely bossed 3 midfielders in that game. He covered every blade of grass in that game. Did not make a single mistake in his passes. Did not make a single mistake in his defensive.
He covered
duties.
up for the defense as well. Yeah, when
Ooh,
the two
dude.
wingers went
Control the
up, he
game.
randomly covered it back. Yeah.
Oh, it was just magic. I just desperately hope we give him a new contract. Kick this Jorginho out. I think Jorginho's anyway leaving. No, I think he's leaving to Brazil anyway. So we better give this guy a new deal, man. Fuck it.
Good.
World-class midfielder.
Yeah.
Absolutely insane.
I think this is one of those games like Arsenal fans and Arsenal team in general, they've had such heartbreak back when they were in the Champions League before this and recent times not being part of that.
Yeah.
They always felt that do we still belong here or can we still take on a big team and actually do something with it during the Champions League big nights? But
Yeah.
this is a signature win where you can genuinely feel that okay, we are there now. Our squad is there.
Definitely
Our
a squad that
manager
is going
there.
on the up.
Yeah.
Now, I'll tell you, there are 3 problems I have with this victory. Now, let's assume we go to Bernabeu and get the job done, right? It doesn't have to be pretty. We just have to get the job done, right? You were talking about Ancelotti being let go. Now, if
Sure,
you were Florentino Perez, who would you target? You have Xabi Alonso that you can target.
That's
right?
that, yeah.
That is one. But again, Xabi Alonso hasn't shown you the kind of managerial capability that Arteta just showed you, right? And
Sure.
Madrid has been known to buy players who have done well against them, or I mean, they've typically bought in people that have done well against them.
You
So now
think
think
a La
about it.
Masia kid is going to go manage Madrid?
Dude, you never know in football, dude. You just never know. Like, whoever knew Ansu Fati will come and play for Brighton, dude. Like, you just don't know.
That's
In
different.
the peak, no, I'm just saying, in the peak of his powers, did you think Figo would go from Barcelona to Real Madrid? You
Again,
did.
so that's like one of the rare things which people still talk about. So it's not that often that this kind of shit happens.
I'm just saying, you never know.
It's an exception, not a rule. That's what I mean. So
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But again, when you're talking about, and I mean, a manager like Arteta would want a project, right? Like, he's proven that he's one of the, I mean, in my opinion, he's one of the best in the world right now. He's proven that with Arsenal, despite not winning anything. Now he knows if he goes to Madrid, he'll probably get the war chest he wants. He'll have the players that he wants. He will go in knowing that the players respect someone like him and he can make a difference. So you never know. And I'm scared that this can happen. And how long will you keep being okay with second place, dude? That could be the other thing. Again,
yeah, even if he comes, he's not winning the La Liga anyway, so it's okay.
we'll see about that. But the other one is, I don't think the audition for Saliba could have gone any better. Like, literally
yeah.
couldn't have gone any better for him.
Yeah.
So
I think
if
they're nabbing him up before Arteta. That's for sure. Yeah.
that is a more likely thing. But I started off with Arteta. But
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a little worried now that
Yeah.
that they might want to come in for him now, especially. But Van Dijk was never going to be a serious option given his age.
Yeah, I
But
mean, Van Dijk is more okay. He might go to PSG
yeah,
more
something like
than
that. But yeah,
Madrid. Yeah,
but yeah,
Madrid
now
usually doesn't like to hire
30
older
plus.
players
Yeah,
anyway.
30
Even
plus.
if they get there, they are very stringent with these the
And the
contracts they
length
give,
of
like
contract, yeah,
maximum 2 years. Yeah,
2 year, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, right? Like there are very few defenders in the world right now that Madrid can buy that will beat Saliba in terms of the quality. So I'm a little worried there.
The another thing is that the Eder Militao will come back next season, like at least
Still,
at the end of this season or something like that, because of his ACL injury. And he's not that old, and he's pretty good. At least he works out for Madrid and their way of defending. Him and Rudiger did make like a very good partnership over the past couple of years. So I do not see them if Eder Militao does come back, unless Rudiger is like facing injuries regularly. Between Rudiger, Marco Asensio, and this guy,
Marco,
David
Raul Asensio,
Alaba.
you mean?
Sorry, Raul Asensio. I don't even know why.
Probably because you saw
That's because of
Aston
the
Villa
PSG
play
game.
today.
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, between these four defenders, I think they are covered in the centre back position unless they are letting somebody go. So I'm sure it's going to be
Would you
okay.
not take Saliba, who's 5 years younger or 4 years younger to Eder, who's a little injury prone, and then say, hey, screw Eder Militao, I'll buy Saliba, or even like maybe a swap. You never
Just
know.
FYI, Madrid is not that cash flow positive. Just FYI. There is a reason why they're not buying players left, right, center even
Yeah, I
now,
know.
even in the even in the winter window. I don't think they are going to make major purchases even in the winter window. By the way, some summer window. They made that call when they got Mbappe, so they don't have anything else remaining after that.
But they do need a
Despite
striker. They do need
they
a
need a
striker.
striker, but it's not gonna happen unless they have like some part-time striker who's gonna be. Endrick is the striker, bro. That's what I mean. You
Yeah, he's
need to
too
let the
young,
kid
not being
play.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Let
That's
the
a
kid
fair.
play. Let the kid play. That's all. Yeah.
I'm just hoping if I mean they like you said they might have to fund their player purchase by selling off a few folks, and I can see maybe Rodrigo somehow being sacrificed at some level.
Rodrigo, he's like the first one on the chopping block if they ever have to sell somebody.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
a good
Yeah.
player, but yeah, I don't
Yeah.
think he'll fit
I
in.
like him. I like Rodrigo a lot. Yeah.
There is no like the Vinny PR and the Mbappe PR is too strong for someone like
Yeah. Too
Rodrigo to stick
too
around.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I fear that, and maybe I can also see them like Urian Timber is not going to cost them a lot, but they do need a right back that is more stable and can play on the ball. Oh, but wait, they're getting Trent, so screw it, I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're getting Trent, so yeah. So at least with Saliba, and in my mind, I think ask Teta, but we'll see.
All to say, just to wrap it up, right? I told you guys the whole Madrid drama this season, especially, you're painting it based on that City two-legged win.
Yep.
Is it was more City being horrible and abysmal than Madrid actually doing something. I watch them week in, week out. I know how bad they are, and I know how
They were
disjointed that team is.
they
Yeah.
were pretty bad, dude. My
Yeah.
God, they were really.
This is
subpar.
their regular shit. That's what I'm saying. You can go watch the Valencia game that happened over the weekend. You'd see exactly the same shit happening.
Yeah, the problem is I think they are 11 individual players that play for themselves versus a team that plays for the badge. Like at this point, I'm starting to see that.
Yeah, I mean,
No one
I
tracks
don't
back.
see. Yeah, so the tracking back is like it's there forever. Like between these two, Vinny and Mbappe. Even before that, it was just Vinny, Jose Lu and Rodrigo. They both of them track back whenever they start. Bellingham literally runs all over
Dude,
the
that
place.
guy does everything, man. Like other than goalkeeping, he does everything. Poor guy.
Pretty much, yeah. Even you could see there was a moment where Carlo pulls Bellingham and Camavinga aside, and he was trying to give like, "Hey, do this, do that," and Bellingham is visibly disagreeing with him, while Camavinga is doing whatever Carlo asked him to do. It's like, "No, this is not right. This is not right. This is not right," and all this stuff. So it was.
But even
Yeah.
Kamavinga, dude, how is he gone so bad? He had a
He
torturous
has always
game.
been again. He's always been bad. Chouameni has always been bad. Mark my word. People are
Dude, Chouameni is
overestimating
worth
what these two
100
are capable
million
of.
euros, man.
Yes, yes.
He makes
That's crazy.
Anthony looks good,
Between
man.
these
He
two,
makes
it is
Anthony look good.
150 plus transfer
Yeah.
fee. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Not
probably
scam.
another reason why they can't let go of Modric also. Keep playing.
Yeah, that's
till
what
he's 40,
I mean.
45.
Modric will play. He'll keep playing because he loves the game, right? So he'll
Yeah.
keep playing as he loves the jersey he's wearing, and he's the.
Oh, he gets paid handsomely.
Yeah,
Club
I'm
legend.
sure he gets
Why
paid
not?
enough. Yeah, so he's 40. He's gonna still play, bit part play, how many ever minutes he's gonna get. I've been telling you guys exactly the same thing. So now, like, you can take these things out. Okay, El Clasico is it lives in its own world. Okay, even in the prime Madrid days, Barca has whooped them 6-2, 5-1, 5-0. It happens all the time because Madrid and Barca have that weird equation where they just keep going after it, and then when Barca gets on top of it, it's over for them. And this happens so many times. We know that what happens in an El Clasico, but outside that, I can judge Madrid in a separate way.
Yeah.
Even now, they might even go and like happily win the Copa del Rey with like a 2-1 win or like, 1-0 win. That could still happen, but it is not happening in a way that it is so convincing that I'm happy to be a Real Madrid fan. That's the state of a Real Madrid fan at this point. Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, let's close this out quickly. But what do you think will happen in the second leg?
Easy. I mean, I'm basically probably 1-1 draw or something like that. Nothing to worry about. I'm sure Arsenal is going to go think that let's not concede at all. And I'm sure that they'll concede one goal and then park the bus. It's done. There's nothing to do anymore. And they'll probably definitely get a goal. Arsenal is good enough and their defense is bad enough to actually get a goal there. And Bernabeu, you don't get, what people don't get it is that Real Madrid finds it super hard to go park the bus. That's why I've been telling that.
They need to.
Yes. Arsenal needs to get something out of this game so that Real Madrid is not parking not looking forward to parking the bus in the home game. The minute they start parking the bus, the crowd starts booing. So that's not what the crowd wants. The crowd still wants to win, but they want to go attack. Yeah. So now they're gonna keep attacking.
Now they have to attack, right? Which will open up a lot of space between like the defense and the midfield, which we should look to exploit. Yeah. So I don't know. I feel a little more confident after the third goal. I was still on the edge after the second, but
2-0, I was done. It's like, it's over. Because I know Arsenal's capability of defending very well. They have not had a bad... The last time they considered 4 goals was against Luton in 2023. November or something like that.
My bigger concern is... Actually, it's less about Arsenal. And I'm not saying Madrid buys referees or anything. If you have... No, very seriously. Forget the juju, right? Like... The fact that you're there and you have the Madrid crowd literally yelling at you, and if you're not like an extremely experienced referee that can handle the pressure, right? The smallest contact, the smallest issue that you see there, you are more likely to tend to give it in favor of Real Madrid compared to the visiting team. And that's what I was a little scared of after like the first or the second goal. But saying you'll hit 4, that might be too much.
If it is a close game, I would have thought that, okay, Real Madrid might be able to manage something. Yeah. It's not a close game.
The fact that we maintained a clean sheet really, really helped yesterday.
Yeah.
So that was big.
Again, so I would have still had some kind of a hope if it was just those 2 free kicks and rest of the game was just plain. I would have still thought that, Madrid could probably do something. But that was not the case. This was beat down, and it's Courtois basically saving their face in several instances.
It's like this could have been the most
exactly. This would have been the most embarrassing result for Madrid in their history. Outside El Clasico. Yeah.
How are we so good in the Champions League when we suck in the league, man? Okay, we don't suck in the league, but still.
I mean,
this is the same team. This is the same team that couldn't beat Manchester United at home. This same team has gone and beaten Real Madrid 3-0. What is this, dude?
Because Real Madrid is bad. That's what I'm saying.
I understand.
Real Madrid
cannot be worse than Manchester United right now.
No, they're not. I mean, Manchester United is not going into that game thinking that they're going to win, right? So they're going to say that, a draw is good enough for us. That's what even Madrid tried to do. Because
do you
they
think Madrid kind of went in thinking, it's just Arsenal, they have no pedigree, so we can come away
They did not respect Arsenal one bit, and they did think that we'll just sit back, soak the pressure, rely on our counter-attack, and we'll get 1 or 2 goals. That's how it happens all the time. Anyway, and the fact that those 2 free kicks came that like quick succession, they didn't even have time to recover. So,
I love seeing Bellingham's reaction. That he's just like, what the fuck? When did it come? Where did you learn to do this?
Did you see that post of the second one where Bellingham is standing like this, like in the air?
It was insane, dude. Like Mbappe is not able to believe what happened. I think Mbappe also kind of gave up after the second one. He's like, this is done. Anyway.
I'm telling you, I have like a special place for people who can take like good free kicks. After Messi, I have not seen anybody do that. Neymar was like the closest one, but he's out right now anyway. But I'm not saying that Rice is going to be that like this free kick legend or something like that. But these 2, I think he can just hang up, saying that I'm not going to take any more free kicks anymore. This is it. I'm happy with it. Yes.
Now I actually want to see Odegaard step up and try to take a free kick because he's abysmal. And just be like, Rice will just be like, fuck off, just move.
Honestly, Odegaard didn't have that much of a good game in the middle of the park.
He was horrible, dude. Honestly, he up until I think the first half, Martinelli and Odegaard were the worst players on the
Yeah.
pitch. Like for me, for Arsenal at least.
I think Martinelli, it's partly because there was nothing happening on that side. People
No, it was
knew
just the
that we
same
need to
thing that he
target
was
on this
doing,
side.
man.
Yeah,
No, it
yeah.
was what annoyed me was the same thing. You get the ball, right?
Go
I
that
mean, it's
side
a
and
conscious
tap it.
effort. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's the same thing, right? Like you do some sort of juggle with the ball, get to the edge, and he's not looking up when he's crossing. He's just blindly crossing, hoping for something, which
Yeah,
which
yeah,
kind of annoyed me. But anyway, it ended well, so I can't really complain.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to Bayern Inter.
Dude. But I think Bayern dropped the ball in this game. They had
think,
so many chances. One of them was from Kane. I think it was like a tap in. He tried to curl that in, but it hits the post and goes away.
Post, yeah.
My God.
I
that
think
was
that's
like,
more bad luck than anything else, man.
I guess so. But you
Yeah.
expect Kane to
Him,
finish
for
there. Yeah.
player like his quality, you do expect that to go.
And you have to give most of the credit to Lautaro for that. Oh my God. that
What a
first
fucking
man.
goal, man.
It's a team play where he collects the ball, he passes it to the wing, and then Thuram takes the ball with the first touch, he back heels into Lautaro, and with the first touch outside of the boot.
Oh, outside of the foot, prime Luis Suarez against
See,
who was
literal-
that?
I just saw the
Who
vision.
was that? Norwich, I think. I'm not sure.
Yeah. Yes, Norwich.
Norwich,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Far
No,
away
not
from the
Norwich.
goal, so-
Against David Luiz. Barcelona against.
Oh, that was
Chelsea.
PSG game. Yeah, yeah.
PSG, not Chelsea. Yeah, same type of thing.
He
right?
does
Outside
that.
the
He does
boot,
that
yeah.
in Norwich game as well. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, it was absolutely crazy.
Beautiful.
What I was really impressed about from that game was I don't see a lot of Bundesliga games, but Michael Olise, man, I cannot believe how
Phenomenal.
good. So silky, man, so
Phenomenal.
silky.
Yeah.
He was just my God. I don't know how the rest of the Premier League didn't snap him up. To go from Crystal
mean,
Palace and making that
seriously.
right side wing spot on your own in Bayern Munich is just different level, dude.
Both of those, Eze and Olise, I thought that both of them were going to be taken away from Crystal Palace.
I still don't know how Eberechi is still with Crystal Palace.
Crystal Palace, yeah. I think
I
he
still
was
don't
injured
understand how that's-
temporarily. Even this guy, Zaha, I thought that he had so much a future somewhere at least, and then I think.
What is he now?
went
Galatasaray.
away.
Or he's
Yeah.
now back. No, he's in the US now. Zaha
Wait,
is
Zaha?
with,
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Zaha's
Cincinnati,
in
I
the
think.
US. Yes. I don't know where, but I think he left Crystal Palace for a not so fancy.
He
transfer.
went to Galatasaray, I know, and then from there, where did he go? Charlotte FC. Okay.
Charlotte FC.
Oh, Charlotte FC on loan. Okay, that's new. That's very new. But yeah, okay, kind
Anyway,
of not a
yeah.
fulfilled this thing. But anyway, talking about that, I've been saying dark horse is Inter. Dude, there is no way if Inter, I think more or less Inter are through because you just cannot go to San Siro and score
That's
3 goals.
difficult. I mean,
Two
Bayern
goals,
has
yeah.
a lot of firepower. Even in the game, they looked like they were going to definitely going to get more goals. But the keeper, what's his name? Sommer.
Yeah,
Jan
Sommer.
Sommer.
Yeah.
He had a very good game, and the defense is like, it's unforgiving, man.
Dude,
Inter's defense is
seriously.
unforgiving. And I thought that they were going to settle for 1-1. So, okay, they got a goal. Yes, Bayern came back and all that stuff. I thought that, okay, this is a good result for us.
Honestly,
we can take it home.
even Bayern's goal, right? Like technically, when you see Muller's goal, I think it came down because they didn't expect Kane to pass it into the box, and the defense and the keeper didn't communicate because of which this guy just pounced on it.
Yep.
But
And
other
Muller-
than that,
Muller is
Yeah,
Muller.
Muller just
He
bounced.
knows where to be. Yeah, that's all.
I was just karma, dude, for what happened. Carl Sainz Romanici's karma that was just pure karma that was.
Yeah.
But it's just one of those vibes goals. Like you just knew it had
Yeah.
to be him.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think they can go score 2 at the San Siro.
I mean, I know Inter is going to be super strong there, and I wouldn't even expect Bayern to win the game itself. I'm sure Inter will wrap it up. They'll get the goal and it's over. They'll shut shop.
Oh,
You're
if
not-
they
you're not
get the
scoring after
first
that,
goal,
yeah.
the match is over, dude.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Unless
too difficult to score against, man. So I think that'll be probably I know that Arsenal versus PSG is going to be super good, but that's on the attacking side of it. But this is more immovable force, being pushed by this unstoppable force. I cannot think of a more perfect match between Barca versus Inter. I know it's going to be dragging your balls and through the sand, at least for Barca fans. But Inter is going to enjoy it so much because we love the defense. Yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that non-existent tie right now. But what you just said, right, just reminded me of this, this Champions League semi-final between Pep Guardiola and
Yeah.
Jose
Mourinho.
Mourinho, where he just basically parked the bus and then Guardiola's trying to attack with Barcelona. It's going to be like that, man. It's going to
pretty
be
much,
like
yeah. I mean, even Hansi Flick is even more aggressive than Pep.
Right, I mean, it's going to be
in
like
this
full
sense,
attack versus sit back, defend deep, and then try and score on the counter type of
Yep.
thing. But yeah, let's talk about So you're saying Inter is going to go through against Bayern?
That looks more likely at this point because again that's like one of the most balanced ties, and the score line also has not gone one way, has not gone in one way too much.
Yeah.
So if Bayern gets the first goal, I think it's like it gets much better after that.
More interesting, yeah.
But if Inter gets the first goal, I think you can just wrap it up at that point. Yeah, it's
But
going to be super difficult.
I'm honestly wondering, you think Inter will actually try and score first, or you think they'll sit back, they'll see what is thrown at them and then try and attack?
The issue with Bayern is they are way too open.
Yeah.
Even with their starting defenders, they're way too open.
Yep.
This defense is this is not good. The backup defenders they have, they're just this is like second tier defenders at this point. Eric Dyer is playing as a CV at this point for them.
Yeah.
So this is not a good strong defensive line for them. So it's going to be difficult for them to not get counterattacked when
Yeah.
they are going so much into this because they have to. So you cannot control Inter all through the game, especially at Inter's home. So this is going to be a dogfight for Bayern. And if somehow they get lucky and get that first goal either via penalty or some crazy magic done by somebody like Olise or anybody else who's giving these killer passes in the first beginning of the matches, you are going to get like the most toughest game in the Champions League. This game is not going to be easier than Barca game or even the final. This is your biggest game. This is going to be your most difficult game for Bayern.
Yeah, I agree, man. I honestly don't see how Inter will not progress, but that's for another time. What about your useless game that was? Wasted my half watching that rubbish. It was so boring, man.
It's been, I don't know how long it's been since Barca came to a quarterfinal and had a 4-0 win and settled down thinking that, okay, we are going to be in semis, happily. So it's been a long, long time since we had that. Maybe 6 years now. Yeah, like after the Liverpool, this thing, it's never happened.
Yeah, that Liverpool game was just rotting for you guys.
So this team doing this, and in a way that is so convincing. Every single person that came onto the pitch was like lighting it up. Yamal, of course, what more to say about this guy? He got a goal today. Yeah, he's got a nice goal. Rafinha with a killer assist. That's what Vinny should have given to Mbappe. Rafinha
He should have done that long ago.
But yeah, so Rafinha again.
Honestly, Rafinha was an asshole. Tried to steal the first goal. That was just dipshit move, man.
Yeah, he apologized to Kubasi.
He did, okay.
Yeah, he thought that it was going out. It's like a run of play where he was running and he didn't even know where the goal was, where the ball was. And he just went and did that. And then apparently he apologized to Kubasi saying that, hey, I'm sorry I did that.
Okay. Who got the goal credit?
Rafinha got it, yeah.
Rafinha got it, okay.
Yeah, Rafinha got it, and right now, as it stands, both 1 and 2 in Champions League goal scoring charts, it's both Barca players, Rafinha and Lewandowski at this point.
Of course.
The guy who we were trying to beat was Virasi. He had abysmal game. He had like at least 2 good opportunities to score. He missed it all.
He actually got in the right places. He did the right things, but I think the finishing was just nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
It wasn't in the stadium for sure, his finishing.
Yeah. De Jong had a magnificent game. He's getting better and better after every single game. Of course, Koundé has Koundé games. It's like 101st game continuously he's starting.
It's too much, man. That guy plays every time. It's just too much.
Yeah. And I'm very glad to see... Yeah. Very glad to see Ansu Fati step on the field after like, I don't know what eternity, I guess, at this point. Yeah, he came on like... Lamine was asking for a sub as soon as he scored the goal. He kept signaling, hey, I want to get subbed off. I think they spoke to each other. Like, hey, I'm going to get subbed off after the initial substitution. So he has no other option but to sub Ansu Fati on. He came in, he looked lively. The entire crowd went nuts, because all of us love Ansu Fati and we wish him success. I hope he stays, but I don't think it's good for his career to stay back anymore because he's way too down the pecking order.
I think he'll go. I think they'll give the number 10 to Lamine Yamal.
Apparently he was offered. Lamine was offered this season, but he was like, no, he's not going to do that. Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay, that's interesting. I didn't know
because everybody loves Ansu Fati, man. So people are not going to be disrespectful, even though.
But I think his time is done. Yeah. And you found a successor for Messi, so why wouldn't you? Messi and Ronaldo,
pretty much, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't put him as like Messi thing. Like Lamine is still young. I wouldn't want him to be compared to Messi.
He's not a normal talent, dude. At 17,
for sure. Normal. Yeah.
So you need to give him his flowers and give him that number 10. I mean, burden him with that responsibility at that young age so that he knows what it means and then develop him into the next superstar you need for your club.
I feel the other way around. People don't throw the M word around Lamine that easily, at least Barca fans. We are careful with that. because 17-year-old kid thinking that he's the next Messi, it's not good for his head and his expectations, the pressure, what he's going to be playing with.
Yeah,
What
but
everybody
we've seen
wants at this
failures.
point is just keep developing. Just play like there's no other day. Play like you don't have to live up to any specific expectation. That's what he does. He has stinkers through in the middle of the game as well, but he doesn't care. He just
17
randomly
you
forgets
can
immediately
expect it.
like a
Yeah.
goldfish and he just does whatever he wants to do. That's what we want at this point. Yeah.
No, I hear what you're saying because I think in the past this has been thrown around a little too easily. Bojan Krkic was called like the next Messi or even better than him. That didn't work out. Ansu Fati was touted to be the next Messi.
Carlos
There was one
Alenia.
more- Alenia was, yeah, I was
Yeah.
just forgetting
Yeah.
who that was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I hear what you're saying. But yeah, this kid is something different, man.
Yeah.
It is absolutely insane.
And
to see
imagine
that.
having your Euros settled already. You already won Euros with
Yeah.
being one of the most critical players for that team.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
this Champions League run, it is pretty much like if there's no Lamine Yamal, this team is not exactly the same, by the way. You can give Rafinha all the credits, whatever you want, but it is not the same Barca without Lamine Yamal. Every single attack goes through Lamine Yamal, hands down. There is a reason why Rafinha gets free.
vision,
It's purely
man.
because everybody's. Yeah, it's
His
amazing.
vision to find a player, it's just absolutely mad. And that whatever little I watched, I've seen this. There is a almost telepathic connection between him and Rafinha for him to be able to put a ball exactly where Rafinha is, or for Rafinha to run exactly where Yamal's passing the ball.
Yep.
It is absolutely insane.
He
to
has
see.
he has that connection with three. Number one, Koundé. Number two, Rafinha. And number
Kunde
three,
I can
Ferran.
understand. No, Kunde I can understand because they're both on the same side of the pitch.
Yeah.
They understand what's happening, but to
Yeah.
okay, Ferran I didn't know, but to do it across the pitch with Rafinha is just insane. Like
You see that Atletico Madrid game where
Hmm.
Ferran scored from the Lamine Yamal pass. I think this is like the fourth time
Oh,
that
okay.
exactly fourth time Ferran scored from the exact same pass from Lamine Yamal. Yeah,
Oh,
he
okay,
does
that's
that in Dortmund to win the game. Exactly the same pass. He does that in the league several times. It's just normal for him, for both of them to connect so much because they play for Spain.
Yeah,
They
fair
are
enough.
playing a lot more than any other regular two players who are like with specific team play, I guess. It's generational talent, I think. No doubt about that. Barca definitely needs to keep their expectations. Again, don't throw around that Messi word anywhere close to him. It's okay. It's totally fine. Number one, Messi is Messi. We don't want another Messi. We would rather have another Lamine than another Messi. We just want Lamine to be Lamine. That's all.
fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Now I'll ask you a difficult question. Right? Okay, that tie is done. Right? There is no two ways around.
Pretty much.
it.
I think so. Yeah.
Don't be humble and all. It's done.
No.
Don't
It's
say, "I
pretty
think
much
so."
done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fourth goal went in. I think that's that
Yeah,
for
I
the
think after
Liverpool
the first
drama.
goal
Yeah.
went in only, I was like, oh, they're done.
No,
I
bro.
kept messaging you good game after every goal, so it wasn't done. No, keep your Barcelona allegiances aside. Let's say Barca goes through, Inter goes through. What do you honestly think will happen in that game?
I think again, anybody playing Inter will be their most difficult game in the Champions League.
Yeah,
For
I'm
anybody,
asking what
wherever-
the
whenever they
outcome
face.
is going to be.
Outcome, I expect Barca to come through because Barca is very familiar with this kind of setup. Getting bus park against them is like very, very
Yeah,
common
they
for
didn't
us.
do it against Real Betis, so I don't expect you to do it against Inter Milan.
No. Again, so Real Betis is coming in a place where everybody's tired. We have that's the fourth game in the 10 days, and if there were legs, I think even then Barca created a number of chances which could have been ended up as goals, but purely because of that the tired legs they were not able to get pushed through the thing. But I think from now to Inter, that being the semifinals, there is enough gap and Barca the players will get rotated enough. And the only thing which I worry about is that the Clásico coming close by that time,
Yeah.
that is going to put some pressure on this thing. And if we wrap the league up before Clásico, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if Real Madrid players start injuring Barcelona players just to make sure they don't win like Champions League.
It happens.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying it could happen. You never know.
yeah,
Just roughhouse everyone, all kids anyway.
As a Barca supporter, I think we have more confidence in playing teams like Inter than playing teams like Bayern or PSG, because we know that one mistake, that pace behind them is unstoppable, and we rely on this crazy high line, right? So a team that is attacking, especially that high attack line, we are going to be vulnerable for that. But I don't
And
know
Flick
how
won't change his
Hansi-
style.
It
Flick
won't-
won't change
Dude,
style.
it's like what 154 offsides in Europe before the Dortmund game, and Dortmund game had like maybe 4 or 5 offsides again. The next best team in Europe was 90 something. in terms of catching people offside. This was crazy. Everybody, I mean, even me, right? So if you remember, we were watching the Bayern game, 4-1 game, scored immediately the first minute, like 1.5 minutes, we scored.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, guys, please take a chill pill. We don't need that much of a high line. Then Kane equalizes, and I was like, okay, screw it. I think it's over for us for now. But no, they just didn't give
They
up.
don't give up, yeah.
They just
It's
didn't
that
give up.
stubbornness with the style
Yes.
of play that Flick is
Yeah,
known for.
the only time when I saw them pull back was against Atletico Madrid. And I found it very, very smart.
Okay, so the other thing, right? I was thinking today after the round of fixtures got done, the winner of this year's Champions League will come from that side of the draw, like the Barca or Inter side. Yeah,
Oh, is it? I thought the other way around. Yeah.
You actually thought PSG or Real Madrid or Arsenal will win.
Yeah, because they have the tougher games. So whoever comes through those tougher oppositions, they are stronger.
No, dude.
Like, imagine the Inter City final, right? City had to beat Bayern, Real Madrid, and a couple of other big teams as well. But Inter had much easier run throughout the campaign.
Right now,
And when
I
they
don't see an easy game. The only easy game was what you guys had.
Yeah. So the only game, yeah, I guess so. You can call it easy. Dortmund wasn't an easy game when we played them during the league phase.
Fair enough,
So it is an easy game now because we are seeing that at a 4-0 thing.
No, I'm just saying. So now you can afford to rest your team. I don't
No,
know
I'm
if
sure
Flick
they
will
won't
do it.
rest them.
Whatever, you know what I mean, though, right? Like you get 1 or 2 goals and then start subbing people
They're
off.
fine.
You're
Yeah.
more or less done, right?
Yeah.
I don't think any team on this side of the draw has
Hmm.
the capability of beating Barcelona or Inter Milan. I think teams like PSG can beat Bayern. I don't know if Real Madrid go through, they potentially could beat Bayern in over 2 legs, maybe. I don't know. But there is no 2 legs. You'll meet only in the final. So on a one-off game, I don't know if there is anything that can stop Real Madrid because they have their
Yes.
voodoo there. Especially they've never lost a Champions League final, so
Yeah.
I don't know that. But somehow this season, I honestly feel like I can't see anyone beating Inter because of how they play, and then Barcelona is just too good this year. It's just
Yeah.
too good.
That if Barca is able to beat Inter and actually make their way to the finals, and I'd probably be the most confident. It doesn't matter whether
Yeah.
you're playing against PSG or Arsenal at this point. I would feel a lot more confident because we've gone through this one of the tougher games and actually
Yeah.
stood out there. And okay, yeah, we can handle it. Yeah, that would be a
Plus,
good
it
confidence
also
booster.
comes down to the fact that, like, if let's say Arsenal go through, right, there is not a single player on the pitch who's been in a Champions League final. I don't even think
That's
Odegaard played in the Champions League final when he was
No,
at
he
Real
didn't.
Madrid. So there is actually no one. Oh wait, what am I talking about? Jorginho should have been in the Champions League final.
But he's not going to step on the field anyway.
He's not going to step on the field. No, I'm just saying that mentality. Like, for example, with Barcelona, there's
Havertz.
Lewandowski.
Is Havertz coming
injured,
back before the final?
No chance.
No?
He's out.
Okay.
He's out for the season.
Yeah.
He's expected to come back in pre-season, which makes
Oh,
absolutely
okay.
no sense to anyone.
Yeah.
But okay. But yeah, I don't think Arsenal, like, even from a coach perspective, right? Like, I think the magnitude of that game will be too much for Arteta.
Yeah.
Even as an assistant coach, he lost the one Champions League final that he played.
Yep.
Flick knows what it means to win a Champions League final. Lewandowski's won a Champions League final. He's been in multiple Champions League finals. So I feel like if Barca go through and Arsenal make it, then there is a good chance. I think we'll crumble. PSG has a better chance because they've, like, Luis Enrique has won the Champions League
Yeah.
with Barca only, no?
With Barca, yeah.
Yeah, with Barcelona. Yeah. So I think there could be something there, and there's plus that team is just too good. Dembele has
I
been in the
actually, that would be a very good final as well. Barca versus PSG.
final. Full-on
that would be
attack finals.
That's like there's no pulling back. Let's just do how many people,
It'll
how
be
many,
one
how
of
many
those-
goals are we going to score? Yeah.
Exactly, it'll be one of those finals like 6-5 wins or something.
No.
That'll be absolutely
that,
insane
man.
if that happens, man.
No, I can't deal with that. I've dealt with that in the World Cup final. I cannot do that anymore. To this date, I have not watched that World Cup final again, believe it or not.
Yeah, even I'm okay.
Yeah,
I have not
I
for
ca- I
obvious
can't do
reasons, but
Yeah.
no, but that's too much, man. That's too much to see. But you think PSG will go through?
Yeah. I mean, now with 3-1, if it was 2-1 until that last goal, yeah. The last goal went in, Nuno Mendes scored it, and I think that was curtains. If it was 2-1, I would have still thought that, okay, Aston Villa could drag it to the extra time, and then Emi can do the penalty magic, and they could have had a chance. But even now I think it's too much for them to
Yeah, at
take a
2-1.
2-0 lead.
Yeah, at 2-1, given the fact that the second leg was at Villa,
Yeah.
it could have mattered. But now I think it's too much. But that game was too one-sided, man. It was
That's
just,
how it is with the PSG anyway. It's always like that. Yeah.
dude.
They would not
60
stop
minutes
and
in-
keep attacking. Yeah.
No, but 60 minutes in, you don't have 23 shots on goal, man. That makes no sense.
Yeah, but you look at XG. XG is 1.94.
That's fine. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
in terms of attacking, right? They were they were shooting at Emiliano Martinez once every 3 minutes. That is
That's
not
what
normal, dude.
No, but that's how they play. That's all. Like, Luis
Fair
Enrique's
enough, but
teams are
that
like
was
that. Yeah.
freaking scary, dude.
Yeah,
What
it
the
is.
hell is this?
To watch that team go on a
goal,
transition, it's crazy. Yeah.
That Kvaratskhelia goal, oh my god,
Superb.
dude. The way he cut in, took the ball away from the defender and then scored.
Beating
That one is
Emi
weaker
at
foot.
near post, that's
That one is weaker foot, by the way.
weaker foot, roof of the net. Yeah.
But I'm so happy this Emiliano Martinez got screwed. I'm pretty sure the Paris fans would have enjoyed that the most.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
they would have had a
I'm
field
sure.
day.
Yeah.
They would have had a field day. But yeah, I cannot wait. I cannot wait for Tuesday. It is
The
just...
thing is that the PSG always ruins themselves. They're their own worst enemy most of the times. So I wouldn't even be surprised if some weird shit happens and it actually goes to extra time and Emi wins the game for them in the penalty shootout. But I think it's too much at this point.
I don't think Villa have the firepower to say I'll score 2 goals.
Yes. I mean, it's not about that, right? So it's all it takes is just one freak goal going in
Yeah, that's also true.
early in the game, and then suddenly the PSG nerves would start to come in. And Villa is a little bit more stronger than most teams, like in terms of defense. It took so many shots and so many goal attempts for PSG to score those 3 goals. They're not going to let up at any
Yeah,
point. So
for sure.
they're going to be strong. If there is a chance, PSG should be very, very careful that they're going to take it. Aston Villa will take it. And given the PSG history in Champions League around these small teams, they shouldn't take this for granted.
Fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. I don't know, but I don't see a way back for
Yeah,
Aston
yeah.
Villa. It's too much.
Almost every one of us think that PSG will go through.
Yeah.
But every time we thought that, that's what happened. Again, last time, the same thing with the Dortmund. The amount of attacks, amount of shots they had against Dortmund, it's countless. There were
fair
some
enough.
goal line clearances and everything, right? So every time they face these small teams, they end up having this kind of a weird game and then they crash out. Yeah.
The good news for Villa is they're playing Southampton over the weekend, so that's a meaningless
I
game.
think they won't even worry about that. He'll probably rest everybody.
No, they actually need to worry about it because they're not winning the Champions League. If you want to get into the Champions League, you better win in the league. But it's luckily for them that they're playing Southampton, so that's meaningless. PSG's league is over, so there's absolutely no point there.
He's going to rotate all 11.
All 11, yeah, for sure he's going to, like, there's some kids who are going to play, which is what I want Arsenal also do. League is done. Play like 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds.
Come on, man. 3-0 lead you're taking to Madrid.
Hey, dude, you never know, dude. I don't-
Valencia, the 16th place team, who was 20th a couple of weeks ago, went and outplayed them in their own home. Arsenal can do that. It's okay.
I don't know. Has Madrid ever seen 2 back-to-back defeats in the same week? Because this has happened this week.
This happened, right? Yeah.
No, this week. I'm just saying, has it happened
I'm sure,
before?
yeah. I'm sure it had
So-
happened, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I fully expect Madrid to come in and seriously attack. If we can,
They'll do,
if we
man.
can see out that 20 minutes in the start, no, I think we're done.
They can do all that stuff again. So why wouldn't they want to win even the home leg? So my point is
the
that
home leg all you
the
want.
approach by Madrid in most of these games have been very, very bad. They don't want to play football whatsoever. They always want to rely on these vibes and one individual brilliance to make things happen rather than put together a solid
A
attack.
team
So
that does things. They can win all they want as long as the goal difference is below 3. That's all I care about. If the goal difference is below 3, you do whatever the fuck you want. Score 8 as long as we score 6. I'm okay. Anyway.
for me, at least, I think Chesney has been unbeaten ever since he stepped in. Believe it or
What
not.
amazing he's been, man, from the time he's come back from retirement.
And Barca has not lost a game in 2025. I'd rather keep that going, or just lose immediately so that you admonish all this weird.
Yeah,
things
just
that's
don't
going
carry
on.
all this and put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
No, but
I just
was-
want Madrid to lose one more game in La Liga and Barca to win that game in La Liga, and that week, that's it. We can chill
Now
out.
I'm actually thinking if there's going to be a tactical change from Madrid to say, fuck it, we're done with the Champions League, let's try and get the league, and if they concentrate there. Or do they say, yeah, league is done? I don't think you can say league is done.
League is not done. It's just 4 points with
Yeah.
one head-to-head
With one
game
head-to-head,
to be
yeah.
played, right? So yeah.
Oh my god, concentrate on the league, my friends. Just come
Yeah.
with like a very depleted second leg, the second like squad for the second leg. Let us go through.
Again, so they can still win the Copa. It's in front of them. They are in the final, and final is final for Real Madrid, right? So
Isn't it against Barcelona?
yeah. So it is. If they lose that, and again, this is what I'm telling you. If Barca wins this UCL and La Liga and Copa by dunking on Madrid for 4 games in a season where they lose out on all of those 4, Carlo definitely needs to be sacked, and he should never be near Real Madrid anytime soon. That's what the fans would want. It's not
Fair
cool.
enough.
Yeah.
Wait, you're telling me wait, actually, Barca can do the treble this season.
Yeah. I mean, if they
Shit.
win Champions League, they are in like that Champions League is like the biggest question mark, right?
Question mark right now, yeah.
Yeah, it's been like 10 years now since we've
fuck,
been in a
dude,
final.
Inter-
Yeah.
I am going to pray to all gods that Inter Milan win that. I would watch. Fuck, dude. Again, another treble for a team that has so much financial problems. Oh god. Anyway, dude. Let's see. Wonderful kids, though. Oh, amazing.